Oh. Hello, you hardcores, you know the rest. How are we doing, Richard?
I'm all right, mate. How are you? Can you see me?
Yeah, I can see you, mate. What do you do? Well, no, I can't see you yet. What do you do all weekend? Do you watch boxing?
I caught up with it, mate. Just give me 1 minute, see if I can get you on for some reason.
Well,
there you go. Is that all right?
Yeah, bang on.
Yeah, I was away for the weekend, so I took my laptop down to watch the fight on Sky Go. I couldn't connect. So now that they had some problems for 20 minutes during TNT broadcast. I don't know if that was the reason why, but I couldn't connect. So I had to catch up with it in the morning, which I'm sure we'll come on to because I didn't see it live and I actually knew the result before I actually watched the fight back and forth. I've watched it back a few times now, but I actually knew the result before I actually watched the fight. So that was probably a different way of sort of processing it, if you know what I mean. So I didn't see it unravel as it were happening. So I actually knew what had happened before I actually watched it.
Yeah. What did you think to the full show?
Great event. Great event. Some good fights on there. I thought the Wardley fight was a great fight. That young heavyweight prospect, he is what he is, but he looked good. Fast hands. And I liked it. I enjoyed it. I thought it was a spectacle, and everything they said it were going to be. Apart from obviously the main event, which took I think everybody by surprise. I don't think anybody were expecting that, least of all me. So as an event, mate, unbelievable. All those ex-legends there spent a lot of money, didn't they?
Yeah, they did. Yeah, spent loads of dough. We'll start at the beginning then. Moses Atoe, mate. Right, he's 18-year-old. He looked like that when he was 13. Is he another Mike Tyson that's gonna fizzle out in his early 20s? You know, a man-child kind of thing.
Too early to say. I mean, he's got potential, and like I said just now, he's got really fast hands. But you know, it weren't. I don't know the guy's record that he fought, but I can't remember it off by heart. But he wasn't like a roadman cult killer, was he? So it's too early. It's too early, and he's not built like Mike Tyson. We're at 18, is he?
But he was a big lad as a young teenager. He's still very similar to what he is now. Like, I'm wondering if he's one of them who fill out early like Mike Tyson, whereas others they tend to be down the line, don't they? 25, 26, they fill out, don't they?
Yeah. So it's a bit early to sell, mate. And I'm not seeing that much of him. I think that's only the second time I've seen him. And first time.
Well, he looks like he's got all the moves, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's got fast hands. So we'll see how he develops. So hopefully he is one for the future because
I hope so. Yeah,
we're running out of him, aren't we?
Bricktop signed Solomon Dakras, hasn't he? That we
has he
left Eddie, gone to Bricktop. Yeah.
Right. Well, again, we might come on to that later on, but Bricktop's flying at the minute.
Bricktop is back on his perch, the shoulder roll. Get me the email, George.
We're going to have some fun today, aren't we, me and you?
Hey? Oh,
we're going to have some fun, aren't we?
We're going to have some fun, mate. I've done my calving, so doctor's orders, got to lay at home on my bed.
How have you done that?
Just jogging this morning, doing a bit of sprinting. I've gone over on it. It's rough ground, isn't it?
Yeah, I've just renewed my gym membership with the missus, so got to get back in. I've got to get back into that now.
I can only run it, rain. It's all right, me laid on my bed. I've had plenty of practice. Only thing missing is me stood up shouting out at window because I was at Nick. I was a window warrior.
Well, yeah,
hang up, yeah, I was screaming and bawling all day. I never got off basic.
You told me that. I can remember you telling me that story though when you had it shouted. You shouted up at somebody, didn't you? That you really shouldn't have been shouting at. Can you remember telling me that story?
Alan Lord, yeah, I didn't know it was him. Like Dr. Clanger there. They were at door at 7:30 in the morning, like that. Fabio Wardley. I wanted David Adelaide to win, probably because I was a bit emotionally invested in it. Because I got to spend a bit of time with him a few years ago. He's a nice lad. Wardley, I think we have to take that white collar tag off him now, don't we? He's the real deal, isn't he now? Wardley, and he's there, isn't he?
Yeah, well, he's British champion, which still counts for a lot in
Commonwealth,
my
British
eyes.
and Commonwealth champion and world rank now.
Yeah, he's. I think he's
Undefeated.
number 11 in WBA from when I was. I did
16
quite
and
a bit of,
0.
when we started texting back and forth this morning. I started doing a bit of research and we're catching up with it. I think he's 11 with WBA.
Well, 16 and 0, 15 by way of. He's got a better KO ratio than Big John Fury and Eddie Hills.
Yeah, and again, we'll probably touch on this later on, but that's what I was trying to allude to regarding sort of backgrounds in boxing. 90% of the time, a good pedigree coming through amateur ranks and going through belts and system is the way to go. But, every now and again, you do get these people who really don't have any right to be as good as they are, given the background. And he's one of them. He's like one of these people I was trying to talk about this morning on Tech Trust. He's not got an amateur background, has he? Like you said, white collar boxing, and he's a bad lad. He's a bad man. So he's up there. He's world ranked. And do I think he can go up weight? I'm not sure about that. But again, we'll come on to it again later on. But boxing has not got a monopoly on badasses, has it?
Do you think that Dave Allen can look at Wardley and think to his son, chances he's had and the experience he's had, and he's been around game a lot longer, and he's got an amateur career and up there at EIS and that. I think Dave can look at Wardley and think, if I'd have put more effort in, because he's more talented than Wardley, Dave Allen. You think he could look at Wardley and think, really, I'm only three years behind Wardley in age? It ain't end at world for Dave, is it?
No, it won't be if he hadn't got all miles on clock and he hadn't had all beatings he had. I think he's always going to look back on his career, and very much like his dad, but in a much more. His dad didn't have the talent that Dave's got, or the opportunities, but both just peed it all away, mate. You know what I mean? Both of them, his dad and him. Very sort of similar situation, but Dave did have more talent and opportunities than his dad, but. He's got to look at his career, David. Look at what he did. Look at what opportunities he had. Look at how he wasted his talent and he wasted his time and just didn't show enough interest. He had every opportunity just based on his talent, but he wanted to get that money quick. He didn't put any effort into training and living life, did he? And he's got to look at it with disappointment. But he's got nobody else to blame.
Seen him this morning, Dave Allen, about 8:30ish, going down Crook Hill, down Crook Hill to Conisbrough. And I'd been done. I'd done my run this morning, all showered, and he's just walking down with two lads. I didn't see him running. Big beard on him. It doesn't impress me out like that. If we were running down that hill, and big beard on and running down, I think, you know what? He's on comeback trail. Walking doesn't do it for you. Walking don't do it. If you're going to walk, it's over. You mind you've done your cardio, it's over if you're walking. All these boxers that are walking, no. Dylan White, I've heard he walks. No, they're not. They don't want to go all the way. If you can do the runs, you've got it in you. When you can't do them runs, it ain't in you. Get out. So all you professional boxers watching who do your walk, but don't run. Wrong game. We'll play cricket.
Yeah, I'd agree with that, Russ. I think that once that desire's gone, I don't know many people that have been able to come back and give it a good go. And even when you saw people like, he was running, but even when you saw people like Ricky Hatton when he came back on that final roll at dice, I think when it's gone, mate.
Yeah. Moving on from Wardley, who, well, he's doing it the proper way. I can get behind him, Fabio Wardley now. You can see him going for European and probably consolidating and taking his time a bit, because whoever's advising him Wardley, they're doing it right, aren't they?
Yeah, I were a bit. I thought it were a genuine 50-50. I do think Adelaide can come back. Adelaide can come back. I don't mind either of them. You know, I like Adelaide's attitude, to be honest. And I thought he were getting under Wardley's skin before it all kicked off when he actually had fight. I thought it were getting to him.
Yeah.
I thought he looked a little bit intimidated. That obviously wasn't the case, was it? He fought well and he beat him fair and square. But
Right.
I think Adelaide can come again.
He don't panic, does he, Wardley? He don't waste his punches, does he? You don't see him throwing flurries and that. He's very patient, isn't he?
Yeah, BoxRec got him down as 6'5". You know, is he 6'5"?
Probably about 6'3.5" or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I did.
He's a big lump if he's 6'5".
Yeah, they look the same
about-
size. I'll have to double check that. But
Probably about 6'3"-ish.
yeah, I did 6'2", 6'3". But yeah, I'm not sure he can go all the way, Russ. But I just hope he keeps surprising everybody. He surprised me so far, so I just hope he keeps it up. And we've got to get behind him because he's British. So
I'd like to see him against Johnny Fisher, to be honest. Why not?
I think it's too early for Fisher.
Well, Fisher's only a year behind him, really, isn't he?
Yeah, but as regards to fights and levels that he's fighting at, I think it'd be a bit of a one-sided victory.
He's got to step up now, Johnny Fisher.
He's got to step up. Yeah,
he's got to step up. Saying you're going to fight AJ, although well, I'll fight AJ for experience. Well, fight Wardley then. Isn't there enough money to Wardley fight for a young Fisher?
Well, he sells tickets, doesn't it? So,
well, not in the mouth. They wanted to fight AJ, aren't they? Because now they're going to get paid.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, he sells tickets, Fisher, doesn't it? So it might be financially worthwhile for both of them.
It's a good fight. Well, the main event. What do you think?
Well, I'll tell you. Like I say, I process it a bit differently because I knew the result before I watched fight. So let me just try and just have a bit of patience with me, and I'll tell you what I went through. So I looked on YouTube in early hours at morning and saw results. So I woke up and looked at my phone, saw result, and I couldn't believe it. So I felt a bit cheesed off, a bit let down. This is just seen result. I've not seen fight this time. But I thought a bit let down, cheesed off.
Like a Shuadon Garner in your bet.
No.
You greedy. No, by Kate. Hey, listen, you nearly pulled it off, Richard.
I know. I just felt like it was just a surreal situation, and this is before I actually watched fight. And then so I just felt gutted. I felt let down. I felt, how can that happen? How can heavyweight champion of the world not convincingly beat anybody coming from that background? That's how I felt. I felt that before fight, like most people. And I felt it when I saw the result. I thought, well, how can this happen? What has? It's got to be, Fixer's got to be in or something like that. So I read a bit about it and heard about him being dropped, which I was gobsmacked about. But then, obviously, later on in the day, when it became available on YouTube, I watched it, and I still felt a lot of those things I've just talked about. But I also then thought, hold on here. Is it a terrible performance from Fury? Yeah, it is. Absolutely terrible. It were a bad performance. Was it a good performance and a better performance than I thought Ngannou had got on him? Yes, it was. Could the things that I thought were going to happen during that fight, did they happen? No. Tyson Fury could not hurt him, and I thought he would get to him somewhere along that fight, but he could not hurt him. We'll come on to, how terrible Fury was in a minute, but he did it, Ngannou, several times, and he didn't flinch. He did not flinch. Could he manhandle him? No, he couldn't manhandle him. He was with somebody who was just as heavy and a lot stronger physically than him. Which I probably thought anyway during fight, but I did think Fury would be able to hurt him and keep him off. I thought he would earn Ngannou's respect, and it didn't look like that in the fight, did it? Not to me anyway. He couldn't hurt him and keep him off. So I didn't think that was going to happen before the fight started. Did Ngannou gas with all that muscle? No, he didn't. And it were a 10-round fight. So what I thought about it when I saw it fight, I sort of changed my view only slightly. In that, yeah, I still thought it were a bad performance from Tyson.
He didn't done out to gas though, did he? On Garner, he wasn't throwing that much, were he?
He weren't throwing that much, no. And I did again. We might come on to it, mate. I did go through CompuStats because I scored it, and I don't rely on them. I only use them as a guide to sort of, does it support what I am
Fury were
seeing?
working twice as harder than normal though, wasn't he? Because he were on back foot plus 2 having to force fight, wasn't he? Really?
Yeah, but
I think
10
it
rounds,
confused
30
him a
minutes.
bit, didn't it? He confused
Yeah.
him because he usually dictates, and the guy won't fight his fight, would he?
No. So I felt a little bit after I saw it fight. I felt a little bit differently as regards to this bloke is a beast, and I don't know what he's going to go on to do, but it'll be really interesting when he gets in with other people who are in top 10. If he fights another top 10 fighter, how they deal with him. Now, if somebody like AJ gets in with him, or somebody else who's seasoned and decent and world level, and they destroy him for whatever reason, well, that'll make Fury's performance look dire, won't it? It'll be even more dire than it looks now. But if 2 or 3 people get in with him and they have similar problems with him, what does that say?
It says the division at the moment is pish. That's what it'll say if he starts setting about this top 10. I mean, why are they even giving him a ranking in top 10? I don't know, but he's lost a fight to Fury, hasn't he, in record books. So why does that make him a top 10er now? How?
Well, I don't think he does. I don't think he.
Well, the WBC put him in top 10, aren't they, today?
I had not seen that. I read that they were going to, but I haven't seen it because I only looked at rankings.
Top 10, isn't he?
Right.
November okay. Now. That'll be November.
Right, got it. Because I had looked at all rankings this morning. He weren't in at that time.
They'll do us a toll because they'll be talking for him now, eliminators or title shots. If he fights Fury, he'll have to fight for WBC if he's ranked. One of they'll do him as a voluntary.
Well, they will. If he's, he's a professional fighter now. He's being sanctioned by BBC in at least BBC and WBC in that fight. Obviously,
if Fury had lost, it wouldn't have gone down on BoxRec. I can assure you of that.
Yeah, probably not. But if
they do us the toll when you ring them, don't we? You lot at BoxRec.
But if Tyson Fury fights him after 2 Usyk fights, it's going to have to be for belt, isn't it?
Yeah. Tyson's in a bit of a tight spot now because they've shot the mouths off about December 23rd, just so everybody bought into Ngannou fight and said, well, he is giving us Usyk on 23rd, so let's buy the Ngannou fight. That's all it was done for, Richard. You know that, don't you? To get the sales in.
Yeah, I think that
no intention of fighting that day. And when I said come out with it and we're critical, everybody said, "Oh, Big P, Spencer Brown says it's on." I went, "Okay." Spencer Brown said Mickey Theo, John Fury were on. Mate 28 a few years ago. What happened there? Spencer Brown says a lot.
He does, yeah.
Is he on? Is he on?
I think that it were always going to be a struggle to be not on, Russ. But I think that if Tyson Fury had whipped through Ngannou in 1 round and be on air, he'd have been floating on air and he'd have just been thinking, all right, I might as well just bounce straight back into this one. It hasn't turned out like that. Fury's absolutely, totally deflated, isn't he? You could see that written all over his face, mate.
Yeah.
He's gutted, isn't it? He really believed, whatever reason, that he was the baddest man on the planet. He thought he were going to mow through, as a lot of us did, thought we were going to mow through Ngannou. It hasn't happened, and he's had a dose of reality as regards there are some big tough nuts in the world, and his discipline is boxing, and he should be able to mow through people like that. He's being found wanting, and he's absolutely, utterly deflated. You can see it in his face. He's not
mowing through any division in boxing, though, is he? Wilder, yes. Who's the rest? Dylan White, Chisora, Wilder, Otto Wallin. Is that it? That's it, isn't it? Vladimir's gone, hasn't it? Cunningham's gone.
He has, yeah. But
who's got next? Usyk. What about Usyk? Jared Anderson, Frank Sanchez, Anthony Joshua. There's plenty of fights for Tyson Fury.
You're right, not yet, no. But Usyk question is going to be answered in the next 6 months.
Got to be.
That's signed for. Unless he walks away, that question is going to get answered, Russ.
Vladimir rematch was signed for. Wait, what?
Yeah, so unless he retires, and if that's what you're alluding to, you think he's going to walk away from boxing? I don't think he's
Yeah,
going to
well,
walk
if
away.
he's got what he wants from that Ngannou fight, and he don't want to keep his part at bargain and give him Usyk's fight, you might hear the biggest load of cow dung you're ever going to hear it next 6 months, because he's going to be at home now, and mind will be going woo, and he'll have people saying, "How are you? You all right? You coming for a beer in Morecambe?" And that's how it starts, and then it'll be woo, then it'll be Christmas, then it'll be Greedy Belly, and then it'll be New Year, I'm coming back, then it'll be Feb, I'm not coming back, and on and on and on it'll go. We're going to be like that now, every day. So all you YouTubers getting your thumbnails made, don't worry if he changes his mind one day, you can always save it for another day. Or if you film a video and then something changes, don't delete it and be deflated. Save it. Because 48 hours later, it might spin that story and you've got them ready.
Yeah, if I look, you know me and betting, it's not last 2 years, it's not gone my way in any bets in boxing, so I'm not the best person to do it. But if I had to put money on it happening, I would put money on it happening.
I would. I hope so anyway, because we need it, don't we? The baddest man on the planet is the undisputed heavyweight champion of the world. Forget all this UFC stuff. It's been around 2 minutes. Yeah, it's a different discipline. Boxing's what counts in my life. Not all that. Although I respect it and I've seen them train and it's an hard sport, but I don't understand it. So, but good luck to him. And do you know what? You're not just using your fists, are you? Using your elbows, strangling, kneeing, kicking, all sorts of stuff. It's a tough sport, isn't it? So him being whacked by 10-ounce gloves and not 4-ounce, that Francis Ngannou might have thought, you know what? This isn't so bad, because he wasn't exactly slipping him, were he? It was like he wasn't bothered about little flicks hitting him. He thought, this is all right. Well, did you see how settled he was in round 2? He was really settled, wasn't he? He was like swaggery, wasn't he? He was a bit, this is all right, wasn't he? And Fury had a look about him up close, like he didn't want to be in there, did he? I've never seen him for a long time.
I think that's a realisation, because like I say, when you eat him with a couple of 1-2s straight down the pipe, and when he came out of that ring, he looked as fresh as when he went in.
I think when Fury got to round 4, I think he thought, I ain't going up in tanky, and this is going to be a long night. And he just took his time. He wasn't forcing no. He was nice and loose. He didn't want to get in. Normally, he likes to get up close and grip him up and lean on him. He wasn't trying any of that. He wouldn't allow him, would he?
No, we couldn't get in. I watched a bit of analysis a couple of days ago. I can't remember. Kiddo were doing it on YouTube. You might have seen it. We were talking about how Ngannou were getting his forearm in between him and Tyson, and he couldn't gold him and manhandle him like he has done other people. It was showing you difference in fights.
Yeah,
and it was strange to see. And I think, like you say, I think Ngannou just thought, like you said, this is all right. It's not. I've faced harder punches.
He was really comfortable, wasn't he? He never looked out of stride or he wasn't phased or anything, was he? Walked him down, and he could take a shot. You know, I didn't think his right were very quick, but when he let that left go, so he had a good left.
Yeah, I think he was pretty basic, but again, we've got to give him some credit for being in there and standing.
They didn't overload him with too much, did they? He was like a very novice, but solid, like he was like an English solid Commonwealth level, wasn't he? You know, that kind of level. And yeah, he's maybe dropped a bit and had a bad night, and they sort of like middle, you think, kind of thing.
Yeah, I think that he could get in with another top-ish heavyweight, and you could see a similar performance where he don't get to them, really, if they're careful, but they're not going to be doing much with him, and they'll get a points win out of it. I can see that happening 2 or 3 times more.
Yeah. The actual scores. How did you have it, Richard?
Fury by 2 rounds. I had it. Backed up by CompuBox.
Listen, right, I know, yeah. Listen, Richard. Right.
How many rounds did you have it?
I'll
go with Teddy Atlas. I'm the same as Teddy Atlas.
I had it other way. I had it the other way. There's
you?
4 rounds in the fight that are really hard to score. Really, really hard to score. It's really hard to score rounds. But on Ngannou, I did notice, forget the knockdown, there were 2 other rounds where he shook Fury, and one of them, Fury went to his knees when he was shook. And I thought they were going to give that as a knockdown because he was shook when he went down. But it looked like he kind of like dragged him as well.
Yeah, that's how I saw it.
He was ragdolling Fury. He won't bother, worry.
No, I saw it same as you just said there. No, I didn't. As regards Envy, I saw him drag him down and stumble to his knees. I don't think it were a clean shot.
I think he was trying to show Fury that, listen, was there going to be none of this up close? And it's only what Fury's done it past. Fury's done it to all of them.
Well, you saw elbow, didn't you?
I saw the elbow, I saw him clip, but Ngannou, it just bounced off him, didn't it?
Mate,
I didn't see a warning from referee.
I think referee were behind Ngannou.
Well, Tyson's really good with that. He's really good on blindside, Tyson, but it's very rare that you see Tyson foul like that because usually he's strolling, isn't he? He's like a stroller, isn't he?
No, he did it against Cunningham, didn't
he? Yeah, he had when he pushed his neck back. Yeah, because he was struggling money in that fight. He'd been down. I thought he would have done it to Dylan White and Chisora, but he didn't need to because he was strolling through it. But he couldn't have his own way at weekend, could he? Didn't get his own way.
Yeah, last 2 fights for Chisora, they were just target practice, and it was much the same for Dylan. Dylan, what we talked about this before, but Dylan White's demeanour before that Tyson Fury fight, with all let's be respectful and no need for all this and all that, he knew he couldn't get away with his normal antics. That's the only reason he was doing that. He knew what were coming. White knew what were coming that night.
Yeah. Backing up on Fury's career, obviously we know he's only got 4 wins over world champions, former, current, and future. And there's Asterix's next to them. Back up on his career, do you see him fighting again?
Yeah, I think that, like I just said, I think he'll fight Usyk. I don't think he'll be bothered much after Usyk fight. The only thing that I think he'll ring his bell is if he can't live with that performance against Ngannou and he wants to fight him again. Yeah, I think that's going to stick with him. I think it really. Have you ever seen Tyson Fury like that?
He looked like he was disgusted in his own performance, not the actual judging. He just like he looked like he wasn't happy with a lot of things. Somebody told me something about when he came out. They read something out or something, and have you heard that one? Well, they're supposed to have read something out or something, and he weren't happy with how they introduced him or some music and all that. It must have been rubbish, some rubbish.
Oh, no, I've not heard anything like that.
No. Well, I just hope that he puts that right. But if he can't rematch him straight away, because it's going to mess Undisputed up, isn't it?
Yeah, I think he'll want to. I think he'll go away in cold light of day. He's disgusted with his performance on Ngannou, and what'll be in his mind is he'll be thinking, I've still got the size and the style and the boxing talent and the more stronger than Usyk, and I'm going to get through that, and I think I'll dominate. I think he'll be able to tell himself that, and I think he's actually right. That's what I think. Unless that performance the other night was like my mate Shane says, has he aged like milk?
Your man in the dam.
Yeah. So, but I think that Tyson will convince himself, rightly so, that he can collect 2 decent, relatively easy paychecks up for Usyk fights.
They're not going to leave money on table. They're not bothered if they take a loss. They'll just say they were robbed. They're not bothered if they get 30, 40, 50 million and they have to take an L. They'll say, well, we're still undefeated. Gypsy King and robbed us, and the persecuted us 400 years. In their heads, they'll still be undefeated no matter what happens. Even if Tyson gets put on button moon, they'll say, other bloke had load of gloves and they did up grapevines. So in their heads, they'll spin a undefeated. So
yeah,
they're going to be here, mate, till he's 50. They'll be doing Mike Tyson crossover jobs when they're 60, like his dad.
Yeah.
His dad and Mike. I am Mike and his dad.
look, we've talked about Tyson Fury, how much he contradicts himself. He contradicts himself every other day, doesn't he? And one day he's saying that money don't mean anything. You can't take it with you. I'm not interested in it. And then next thing is a fight week is all over YouTube screaming about how much money he's got in his bank account. So that is what it is. But he won't leave money on the table. I think he'll fight Usyk, and then if he can live with himself, about this Ngannou performance, he might jack, but I can't see him living with it.
They're not
and maybe he hopes somebody beats. Maybe he hopes somebody beats Ngannou up, softens him up for another pop later on, and Ngannou gets worse.
Maybe he might fight him when he's about 42.
Yeah.
Hey, where does Big John go now? John Fury. Are they going to throw him out at camp after all his antics, or is he there to stay?
He's there to stay. He won't let himself get out at Mick because he's picking up too much on side, isn't it? It's just picking.
Is he going to be new trainer for Gypsy King, the big GK? Is he new trainer because he's been gagging for it 8 years?
Well, according to Shane yesterday, he was saying that he needs to be in charge for the next fight as regards camp. Yeah, he was saying not for training, not for pads and all that business, but he was saying he needs to be in charge of what goes on and in around camp.
That's what he was saying. He's probably the only bloke who can sort it. He's probably straight talking one out at lot. It's pretty easy to sort a camp out. All you need is a diary, some paper, a pen, and a phone, and you know who's doing what. It's pretty simple, really. You know who you're booking in, strength and condition, nutrition, men, sparring. It's not hard. It's called a rota, Shane.
What he were alluding to was more to do, not organising stuff like that, but making sure there's no distractions and you don't have things going on in camp that shouldn't be going on. That's how I read it.
Do you know what they could do? They could give that job camp manager to Isaac Lowe. So Isaac Lowe, here's a message for you. Rota. That's all you need, mate, to sort a camp out.
You are merciless. You are ruthless.
Well, Isaac, me and Isaac are besties, aren't we, Isaac? Isaac loves me. I love Isaac Lowe. He's a warrior. Isaac Warrior Lowe. But I've changed it from Isaac Warrior Lowe to Bamba Gascoigne. Me and Bamba are besties, look.
Well, I suppose, look, we've all got his own talents, haven't we? And luckily enough for him, he can fight. Bless him.
Lucky enough, Isaac can fight because he's not a car dealer, are you, Isaac? Okay, then. Big John, is he going to fight Iron Mike, or has that gone now? Is it all pie in the sky?
It's gone. It's gone. Tyson Fury's got bigger fish to fry. I heard that he gets up to $500,000 just to sit down and watch fights. That's what I've heard.
Yeah, that's true. Well, Lennox got $250 to go out there, didn't he?
So why is he going to want to do that? Mike Tyson's, from a financial point of view, Mike Tyson's been back on top for a good few years. He's paid all his taxes and debts off. He's got that weed farm.
There's about 17,000 plants in there, over 4,000 acres or something.
Yeah, he's not, and he's getting paid left, right, and centre doing adverts and all that sort of stuff. So he don't need John Fury to put food on his table, does it?
You couldn't make it up, could you? Hey, Mike Tyson, pillar at community. I know, and Joe Fraser died penniless, never been in trouble in his life. Pop bang.
Joe Fraser's died penniless. Tommy Hearns is on his way to being the same way. Evander Holyfield's half skinned. I just can't fathom it.
Yeah, they're not all like the Cobra, are they? Piling it up and building skyscrapers.
Well, Cobra knows what to do. I've even heard on Grapevine he's nicking your odd line or two. Brick top this and brick top that.
He can do what he wants. Yeah, he can nick my lines if he wants. I don't mind. At least somebody's putting him to good use.
I did chuckle first time I heard him say it. I said, "Oh, I've just thought to myself that he's nicked one off poker there."
he can, when he comes out with that Bricktop line now, Carl, he says it as if he's talking to somebody at pub, because that's the art of funniness, isn't it? You go, well, what do you think that Bricktop's going to do next? Oh, Bricktop's going to put this person in, and you're saying it and you're not laughing, so it just looks like it's his first name, doesn't it? So it sticks, doesn't
Yeah.
it?
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I picked up on that though from the Cobra.
what did you think to the show as a whole? The old pyrotechnics and neon lighting and everything and all that. It was proper top notch, wasn't it?
Mate, unbelievable. I'm looking forward to some tail end of it, because I'm not talking about the boxing show, but it lasts 6 months, this Riyadh season. We're out in Dubai in December. So I'm looking forward to all sorts going off and seeing. They know how to spend money, don't they? Money's not. We've talked about this before. Money is not an object for them out there, and they can just pay whatever they want. When you're talking about people who are managing funds of 600 billion, it's unbelievable, mate. So yeah, it was as I expected. No expense spared. Like I said, to get all those. How much did it cost them just to get all those people there to sit and watch that fight?
I don't know, but I heard Big John and Shane had about 5 desserts at night. 8 trolleys for room service were like that. And I heard they've left with all dressing gowns and towels, so they could take that out to 600 billion. Pop, pop, bang. Fury's had an all exclusive, you couldn't make it up, could you?
I don't know what hotel they stopped at, but are you saying there's going to be dressing gowns and pajamas and pillowcases on Manchester markets next week?
Yeah, that say Gypsy King on.
Well, we all like to earn a pound, don't we?
Yeah, going to go on to part 2, pal.
Yeah, good, no problem.